Over the past few years, men's volleyball in America has exploded in popularity, but nobody seems to be talking about it. Don't believe me? I'll prove it. Now, men's volleyball has been very slowly growing over the past couple decades, but only recently, within the past couple years, has it spiked in popularity. In 2021, there were roughly 130 men's collegiate volleyball programs across Division 1, 2, 3, and the NAIA. Fast forward 2 years, and there are now more than 250 programs across the United States, which is practically double what it was 2 years ago. To put that into perspective, from the 20 years prior to the 2021 season, the number of NCAA programs grew from 70 to 98. So as you can see, the majority of the growth has happened in the past few years. However, just looking at America collectively would be unfair. You see, men's volleyball has historically been tied to specific regions like the West Coast, where states like California, Oregon, Washington, and Arizona have always had a strong men's volleyball presence. I think it's also fair to throw Hawaii into that category as well. Other regions like the Midwest also have a fairly notable presence too, with states like Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Ohio hosting a good amount of talent. But the regions where men's volleyball already had a substantial player base didn't exactly contribute to its recent rise. For this, we need to look at the regions where men's volleyball has recently been on an upward trend. There are a few metrics we can look at for this. The first being states that have recently sanctioned boys high school volleyball. Boys volleyball is currently sanctioned in 25 states. What makes this important? Well, for the states where boys volleyball isn't sanctioned, it means there is no organized volleyball through public schools, like a JV or varsity team. This doesn't mean there isn't organized volleyball at all in these states, but teams are usually considered club teams, where games and tournaments must be arranged by an outside organization. This can discourage boys from ever even trying volleyball simply due to the inconvenience or the fact that club teams usually have an upfront fee in order to fund the league. So obviously, sanctioning isn't a perfect way to measure growth, but it does lower the barrier to entry for guys to play in high school, so it can somewhat predict where men's volleyball will become more popular in the near future. In 2021, boys high school volleyball was sanctioned in Colorado. The following year, colleges in Colorado saw a 3 to 4 times increase of players for club team tryouts. So states like Utah and Minnesota, where boys volleyball was recently sanctioned, are likely to experience the same massive influx of new players on top of their already substantial player bases. And the number of states where boys volleyball is being sanctioned is only increasing. So why is men's volleyball only now starting to gain traction across America? Well, it comes down to a little section known as Title IX. Put it simply, Title IX is a federal law that requires schools to offer equal opportunities for male and female athletes. Why is this a problem? You see, one of the main ways schools satisfy Title IX is by offering the same number of sports for girls and guys. The main problem being that football is only offered for boys, so they only offer girls volleyball to counteract that discrepancy. And while there are other ways to satisfy Title IX, many states still elect not to sanction boys volleyball with the intention of equal opportunity. Another reason more boys are starting to pick up volleyball is that the stigma surrounding volleyball being a girls' sport is finally starting to wear off. Because of Title IX, schools rush to provide more opportunities for girls, usually resulting in the addition of a girls' volleyball team. This then led to the number of girls vastly outnumbering the number of boys who played volleyball in the US, creating the stigma that volleyball was a sport only for girls. And it's not like this stigma was widespread across the world. Volleyball is the 5th most popular sport in the world by number of fans and 4th in the world by participants, with an estimated 1 billion players. So it's not like guys just naturally shy away from volleyball. It truly is a great sport for everyone. But outside of the statistics, I know I can vouch for the increase in the number of guys I see playing volleyball, whether that be in open gyms, tournaments, or just public courts in my area. So the final question, what caused the spike in popularity of men's volleyball? And to be honest, there really isn't any concrete evidence as to why it became so popular in recent years. I think overall men's volleyball has just been more integrated into American culture. There's probably something to say about TikTok promoting volleyball content to guys, which could have been enough to pique their interest. I also think there could be a correlation to something like haiku becoming popular in America during 2020. I know for me, I started playing sand volleyball with my friends around when COVID canceled school, and I've since been playing indoor for the club volleyball team at my college. But honestly, I'm curious to see what your thoughts are in the comments, whether that be your theories or what made you pick up volleyball. I look forward to hearing what you have to say, and stay soft.